Another day, another tragedy. Obviously, things in Higurashi have gone better in the past, and then rapidly downhill, just as we've seen, having each of them stand their ground and then be picked off. And for everything to play out pretty much exactly as was foretold in, well, every iteration past. One main difference is that Rika may remember that Takano is now her main adversary, and she may get some extra help from the spiritual friend, one that has just been a casual observer seeing it go down so often, now being a main gear and mechanism in the fight against fate itself. Still, after that quite conclusive end of the arc, what's it going to be showing? One way to find out, that's to sit down and watch it, so grab yourself a drink. Hope you're ready. Let's watch some more Higurashi. Festival Music Chapter. Well, with a title like that, well, it doesn't seem so distressing as some of the previous ones. Did I also read the right? This is like the Mio 1. But yeah, as was kind of been set in motion so many times before, what kind of grand reveal is it going to be next time? If we've had this quote-unquote gas leak now be a systematic removal of all of the villagers due to the whims of Takano, what more is left to be revealed there? Is there more behind the scenes that we don't get to see because the time resets? Well, there we go. Since she has accepted that she needs to jump in and do something, Hanyu is now part of the group. I did wonder back then, was Rika waving to us or the spirit from behind? Good that we finally got an actual answer there. This is where the interest began. I mean, the main one that people know about, I guess, is the I can't remember if it's actually called the cordyceps fungus when it comes to ants. If we can be so easily influenced, so easily controlled, don't you think some government somewhere would have already been playing with this idea? An obedient populace is easy to control after all. Yep. Anyone that they're fearful of or distrust, just set the parasite on them. Some heavy material to be dumping on a child like this. But he wants to put into motion what may someday be proven. At least he's open and accepting of that. The passage... Oh god, this is where that comes. So, a passing statement to the whims of a child and that innocence stretched and mutilated beyond measure. Give up. What the hell is going on here? I mean, obviously a stormy night, not exactly in a nicest predicament, but... So give up on the plan. Get back while it's safe. Oh, great. Please don't be another situation, or even worse than what we were going through with Sadako. But that quick shift away, just to have give you small morsels of what we're dealing with. Sudden heart palpitations and issues leading to roadside collision. I'm guessing she didn't even make it to the hospital. Is this really what he needs to be saying on the hospital bed? Oh, great fear. Just pile on the worries onto her. Why not? Aha. So he could have put it in a more gentile manner, but preparing her for the worst. Would look after her, take her in, give her a path in life. How much scarring do you want to give to a child? I'm sure this is a going through showing where all of her issues stem from, but... Well, I think we know how the operation went. But because he is not a relative, she's put into the system, one that we've seen has failed so often before. And is this the... Don't think we needed the immediate scowl. I mean, good to know that we, casket punishment? Is it better we don't know what it is? So, any infraction, no matter how small, well, at least he still gets to have his meal. Some would say it's unnecessary aggression being put on, but I don't think he's got much going on in his life, so he's trying to get at least some sort of sense of worth from antagonizing children. Shame, really. So this is the we need to escape and get out. Do you really? If it's that bad. Hopefully, this one isn't gonna, have a rebellious spirit broken. Locks upon locks. That's some bad security. Why is a house key the same as a chicken pen? I mean, we did see it. They were like, oh, maybe it will work, or maybe it doesn't actually work. But where did she... Did the others make it out? A sacrifice. He could only go after one. The problem is, even if they do get out, what happens? Will they just be put back into the system, back into this care? Will anyone believe them? So, having one of them who breaks to that extent, I don't think that we're going to have much hope for them in the future, at least in this immediate circumstance. I mean, if you want a way of trying to humanize a character after what we've seen them commit in their adult life, show what kind of situations and circumstances they were in childhood. Sure. But there are definitely people who have had worse upbringings that didn't resort to genocide. The fact it's turned into some sort of prison escape. Surely they could have vaulted that fence. Well then, if they don't meet up again, good luck to each of you. A somewhat unassailable wall versus the flashlight and issues behind her. Fucking great. Well, that's going to be a permanent reminder. But for that bit of aggression, what is she actually going to be able to get out of this? Apparently not, because it's a cut to black. What kind of... If they were only playing before with their punishments, what would be inflicted after she caused grievous harm? So that's the fundraiser behind the operation. Does he know what it was used for? And she really doesn't have much else going for her, so latching onto a statement and a dream from childhood. Just don't let him down, right? Atonement for his sins. So, seeing it from this side, you'd be like, oh, okay, she got a nice backing and a steady route towards success and a wish and a goal and wanting to help those that really meant a lot to her. While ignoring the darker side of scientific progress. Oh, okay. Well, we've been hinted at with certain possession before. And have some of these certain war generals and fat cats take residence in Japan after escaping. One would think that Argentina was a good place for the excess Germans. Not Japan itself, but still. Well, if you anger her, you won't be on the safe list. So she is being highlighted for that. I mean, they're making it as easy for her as. Was that a jovial laugh or something else? What is that expression on her face? Ah, a forced, feigned smile. Gotcha. This is where the team gets put together. I do like the background to all this, how it all came to be, but knowing where it leads off to, is there slight changes that can happen in this story which will change how it actually plays out? He has so much more left to give. Well, he is definitely enthusiastic. Great. There, from the beginning of the onset of this project, there really is a lot of backing to her in this project, isn't it? You can see how, after being given such a free reign over the project and its future, and being handed titles like Major and whatnot, how the hell did she get away to keep running? Yeah, after being handed everything handed to her like that, how she'd go a little off the rails. One of the questions is, oh crap, flashback like this, almost a home movie-esque with that filter over the top. Hopefully that's not a visual representation of her mental state there, with that flicker of the projector spinning down. Try to remember the happy times and we strive to reobtain that rather than just wallowing in darkness. But did I can't remember if I finished my sentence or not. About the others, did they get away? I agree on that statement. However, it seems as very one-sided at the minute. Answered with a thunderbolt. So a divine inspiration is also a reason why she went on with this research and path. Or how about wishing to strike down everyone that surrounds her and is the issue in her life? What an episode, actually. Very detracted from what we've been seeing before, because now it's very much, a character who's been built up as this bastard for many an episode. Well, either mysterious or a complete bastard who is the main crux of the issues that the village is facing, and because torment over and over and over again. Now getting a somewhat sympathetic view and showing how her life was impacted and led up to this point. I mean, even if we can understand maybe the thought process, the path that she strived through for the pain and suffering to get here, sure. Doesn't really excuse the actions of what we've seen, though. There are definitely better ways of making the world pay for its misfortune placed upon you than mass genocide. What an awful dream. Well, there's much past the time for regrets or anything, so she's not going to have a change of heart now. What do they... keeping measure of now? Is this after the village has been, dealt with? Oh, all the lights are on, so no. It is a swap back. Got it. Okay. Yes. Victoria's laughter. We've seen before that there's characters who are given this treatment where they got the sob story, the background, the how they gone to this point of the... some done slightly better than others. I feel like this is not ham-fisted, but very much thrust upon you to see her plight, having everything stripped away from her, going from a happy family just eating meals with the Italian flag in it, to losing her parents, being thrust into the uncaring welfare system, where they don't really do many checks, do they? If someone can run a orphanage like that, yeah, just keep plying with children. Don't need to check up or see if there's any lingering mental anguish or bruises or much needed trips to the hospital. But truly, if nothing else, it is kind of proving the research correct, the parasite taking over the one's mind. If her wish to become an actual god is just bluster of the moment while being like, haha, I'm a god, then okay. But if it was carrying on that to go down in history, to leave your name and mark and regain the memories of the time she had before everything went to shit, that's a bit more understandable. At least understandable in a train of thought kind of way, not understandable as in the actual actions, because that one is a little more unjustifiable. But, it's a small village that was having issues about a dam. They don't matter in the grand scheme of things, obviously. Knowing where her enthusiasm and zeal for this research, for the parasite, for this village, where that all stems from, you can kind of see why she got so deep that she did. I'm not sure how this is going to tie back, or if there's anything we can learn to help with understanding of the rest of what's going on. But mysterious forces out there, the amount of backers she had, this dark side of the Tokyo or whatever. Was it just coincidence that she had Adolf helping her out? Higurashi is a show where it obviously is somewhat tough to watch at times. Gets you thinking at others, and then shows you the depravity that humans can get up to. Obviously, during the war, there were very questionable experiments going on by, I think, pretty much every side of it, so no one's free from blame. But seeing this, where it's like, yeah, there's a parasite which is capable of controlling and killing the hosts, wiping out entire communities. How can we use this? That was very much the kind of thought process of the time. I don't think we got too much further in the 80 years since. But it was seeing the small change in the... It was nice seeing the small change in the opening, having Hanyu now part of it, seeing that she is a tangible element of the group. Does it mean she's going to stop just being this spectre in the background, actually having some sort of corporeal form? That would definitely change interactions, wouldn't it? If you're adding a character into the mix, one who might have been there the entire time just with no substance, now interfering, yeah, things are definitely not going to play out like they did. But there are still small questions bouncing around in my mind. I'm not sure if it's right to bring it up now, but much like the other police officer dude who had the pregnant wife who slipped and fell and died, since that future never came to be and we are living in a different realm now, what was the catalyst of that change? Is it something we've seen and I've overlooked? Was it Rika's just reaching out to him saying, bad things will happen. Actually, it might have just been that, yeah. Didn't have the conversation with him before, she died. Did, she didn't. Therefore, many years later, here we are. Not sure. I think I just talked myself out of a point I had in my head. But Higurashi is a dubious mix of catastrophe and intrigue. And I want to see where we end up after this, really. So if you have somehow enjoyed this episode, let me know. And please put down below in the comments everything I may have missed or overlooked or not thought about at all. But maybe join on to my Discord to keep up to date with any notifications. Subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Most importantly though, keep yourself safe, don't go wandering out in any thunderstorms. Even if you're fighting against the will of God. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks to my patrons, no matter what kind of upbringing my channel has, we may not actually need to turn to world domination. So I need to thank Sal, Guado, Kite, Wolfie Sensei and everyone else, because now I can just sit back and watch some anime. Still, I may have a evil cackle every now and again, but it's a long way to go until I can build my own army.